I had to do part two on my laptop camera because I got to free up some storage on my iPhone. But my point was that, as artists, the idea of a 9 to 5 seems almost like a cage. I can speak for myself, but I think that the conversations that I've had with other musicians, other artists, they share that. The idea of a boring job or a boring life seems like a cage. To the point where the term starving artist, you hear the term starving artist that's applied to painters, dancers, even models. Most models before they make it are poor. Musicians, why? Because a lot of musicians would rather starve than to live a life unfulfilled. It's just part of our nature. And so part of what thrives us is this idea of freedom, this idea of I'm free. And so as a female artist, I get it. You're like, nobody's going to tell me what to do. If I want to show my body, like, this is my body, like, what's in between my legs is mine. What's coming out of my mouth is mine. What's in my mind, that's mine. This is my body, right? You're not going to tell me how to work my body. You're not going to tell me what clothes to put on my body. Like, that's captivity, and I can understand the perspective that some women are like, we've come too far to let anybody tell us how to dress, what to say, what kind of image we want, and things of that nature. And I get that perspective. Trust me, I understand it. But what I will say is you have to really evaluate how organic your behavior is. Is this something that is designed? Is this something that the label is telling you that you have to do as far as this is what's going to sell? Like this push for like liberation and this push to like show your body off, it doesn't seem like you taking ownership of leadership, you being a boss, if everyone's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I was in 6th grade, and I went and I got the little thing for the pool stick, like the thing that you sharpen the pool stick. I don't know, I just wanted blue hair so bad. Nobody had blue hair. I just wanted blue hair. And right before I got on the bus for school, and my mom wouldn't know, I put it all in my hair to have blue hair. And so it was interesting, like, when the trend came where everybody was doing different colors and stuff like that with their hair. But then it was like, you want to stand out, right? As an artist, like, you want to stand out. Like, I'm free. I can wear my hair however I want to wear my hair. But then when everybody's got rainbow colored hair, then it's not really like different. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm free. I can show my body. Like, I can show, my sexuality. But then it's like, when everyone's got like their ass and their breasts out, then it's not really like different. You know what I'm saying? And you don't really stand out as an artist when everybody's dressed like that. It's not. To me, it's not. I don't know. It's like I'm really from the school of like art. Like, I really love a good Broadway play. Like, I really love like an authentic, like eccentric creative. Like, I really love, like the trailblazers and the pioneers of music. I'm really like into their story and their legacy, and like, these are people who did prefer isolation and lived a very peculiar lifestyle to be able to produce such organic music, of such organic artwork, such organic things. And I know that I've even heard a lot of creators say, look, I don't listen to anything on the radio if I'm writing an album. I don't listen to anything like that because I don't want it to influence me. And so I asked the question to a lot of these female superstars, female rappers, how original are you being if your content is similar to everyone else's? And it's no shade, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand everybody has to get paid, but what are you not willing to do? Are there limits? You know what I'm saying? Or is it anything goes? Are there limits to say that I'm just simply not willing to do these things? And if there's no limits, I can't tell you how to live your life, but I also can't tell you, I can tell you that some people might look at you as disloyal or untrustworthy because you'll do anything for money. And so I want to also emphasize another point, that the reason why I am specifically talking to women of color, the underdogs, even though we know we're not. We're the most powerful beings and beautiful and all of these things, is because I want you to really understand, like, this is by design. This is not something that is organically you. And I've said this before, but I know that mass incarceration has devastated our communities. I don't have the numbers down in front of me exactly, but I know that nearly 40% of the people who are incarcerated are black, right? And so I know that that's a crazy number because black people only make up 13% of the population. So we're like 3 times the amount of the population in jail, which is absurd, diabolical. It is a contemporary Holocaust. You know, it's the contemporary, it's a contemporary slavery. You know, we know this. Is hoe culture a result of that? I'd say absolutely. There's a direct correlation between mass incarceration and hoe culture. Now that there are less black men, and men are typically take the traditional role of being the protector and the provider, now women have to assume the form of being the mother and the father. And we know statistically black women are the least paid people, period. And this is why I'm saying this message is specifically for the underdogs. Because we are the least paid. Out of anybody in America, we earn the least. Matter of fact, right here in Washington, D.C., in Chocolate City, the average black family earns 81 times less than the average white family. So Washington, D.C., the average white family is earning 81 times more than the average black family. And they're the minority because we're still 50% black in DC. So these numbers, you know, obviously even the idea that, you know, a black woman earning a college degree or an accelerated degree still earns less than a white woman who's a high school dropout. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not making this stuff up. You guys can do your research. And so we know that it's a lot tougher to make ends meet when you're in this skin that you're in. We know this. This is not playing the race card. This is not imaginary. These are facts. You know, this is researchable. This is verifiable. And so I do believe that whole culture does to some degree derive from necessity, but I think it's also ego. Because we have been bombarded with this message of there's such shame in poverty and there's such shame to look like poverty and not have new things and not have shiny things. And then there's this deprivation that's mixed in with it and this starving out that's mixed in with it and this perception that the grass is always greener on the other side. And also there's a little bit mixed into it that this whole idea of wanting to be like the person that oppressed you. I think the term might be like the Stockholm Syndrome. It's a psychological term, the Stockholm Syndrome, where the victim actually falls in love with her abuser. And there is a degree or an element of that within Black culture that Black women have also kind of set the standards for what is the cream of the crop according to white standards, according to European standards. And that's the reason why this culture of materialism has really taken over, because to some degree we feel like, yeah, that's the key to happiness, that's the key to success, because that's what's been told to us. And I'm not here to say don't get your share. I think that, you know, part of my fight for the underdog, period, no question, is reparations, is financial empowerment. That's like the forefront. If you notice, a lot of my conversations, financial empowerment, it's pivotal. It's important. To me, there's nothing else to talk about until we're able to earn enough to be able to take care of ourselves and our families and so on and so forth. What I'm saying is that this poverty circumstance, that it isn't applied to Cardi or Meg Thee Stallion or Nicki or Cash Doll, whatever. These women are set financially. They've got money. Miss Mulatto, they've got money, but they don't represent the majority of us. You know, like Kendra Moore and Candy and all of this, like all the women that we see on TV, they're set. They're okay. But what I'm saying is, it's a very unrealistic perspective if you feel like they're representing the majority of us, because I've said this before. I think the average single mother's net worth is $5. You know what I'm saying? So generally, black women are poor. Not what you see on TV. That's make pretend. And what I'm also here to say is that we shouldn't be defining what success is by other people's standards. That shouldn't be where we get our idea of success. I believe that this horror culture has been designed. I believe that it's deliberate. I believe that it is also a part of kind of the arrogance of other cultures from what I've seen. And I'm making a generalization. Shout out to my white sisters, shout out to my Asian sisters, shout out to my Latina sisters, my Indian sisters. I'm making a generalization, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that a lot of women of other races, specifically white women, have an air of arrogance and think that they're better than black women based off of the whole culture, right? Based off of this notion that all we are bodies and not brains, based off this notion that really all we're good for is sex, based off of this whole thing of, well, yeah, you can go sleep with her, but I know that it'll just be a quick nut because there's no possible way that she could possibly intellectually stimulate you, right? So this is kind of how racism works. This is kind of how this whole white identity extremist perspective and this, arrogance works. And nobody's saying, don't be sexy. That's a part of our nature as women. Our beauty and our sexiness and our appeal is a part of it. But what I'm saying is, cultivate your mind. Be the total package. Be hot. Be intelligent. Be poised. Be able to dance and have a good time, right? Maybe even twerk a little bit. But also be able to hold a conversation, be intelligent, be about your business, be about, charity, humanity, like be mind, body, and soul, right? Your mind, your body, your soul, all of these things are part of you. All of these things are essential to you as a woman. And if we talk about women empowerment, it's absolutely important. It's imperative as women that we begin to value ourselves as more than just, available to the highest bidder or, purchasable. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're too intelligent for that. And I think that this whole culture has got to go away. I think that we need more female artists, specifically rappers, that aren't talking about the same things over and over and over again. I think it's time for us to be able to have, some good examples for the kids. And again, I can understand, artists will say, I'm not here to raise your kid. I'm not your kid's role model. But damn it, at least give the kids an option. You know what I'm saying? They can't be bombarded with all of this and have no other people to look up to. At least if there's going to be a Cardi, let there also be a Lauren. You know what I'm saying? We need at least some options. And that's all I got to say right now. Until next time. Peace.